Okay, so it's my pleasure to have April Butler on the call today. Under 64 strong woman, and some of you will know her from you've competed at England, you've been to UKNS finals, haven't you? And
hmm
I think a lot of the strongman community follow you, see some of your training, some of your really good lifting that you do on a regular basis. So, April, how are you?
Yeah, all good, thank you. Not bad at all.
All right, yeah. Um, I know
Yeah.
this isn't normally your sort of thing, but I really appreciate you coming on because I think you've got really interesting story. I know I've only met you like a couple of times, and that's at competitions when you're zoned in on what you're doing. So it's not like we have a chat, is it? So I
Yeah,
think it'd be quite good to get to know someone that I haven't really spoke to. Whereas Claire and Glenn, I've trained with them, done hosted competitions with them, and all this stuff. So I know about them a bit more. So if I'm rambling, just tell me.
I'll just jump straight in then. So yeah, from Nottingham, so East Mids, and I've pretty much been training in Strongwoman for like 3 years now. Anyone who knew me before, like a lot of my family and friends, they find it quite hard to believe what I do at the moment.
Yeah.
So but I used to hate going to the gym. It was a chore. I'd make up any excuse to not go because all I'd do, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no structure. I'd just go on a treadmill, sit on a bike for half hour, and then that'd be it. It wasn't until my fiance James, he did a strongman comp with his brother-in-law Gav. Um, and I was watching it and I was like, oh, this is quite good actually. I think I'd quite like to give it a go. So yeah, I signed up for my first comp over 3 years ago.
What was
Didn't
that? Sorry,
so
what
it
what
was
was that comp?
so that one was the Viking Power and Strength. Uh and it was probably it was the best introduction to a strong woman comp I could have had. Like the atmosphere was amazing.
Yeah.
Um, it was really well ran. And then after that, I was just like, yeah, that's it. I want to do better next time. I'm quite competitive by nature. So if I know I can improve on something, I will do my best. So then, yeah, after that, I no longer hated going to the gym. And I actually got a bit sad if I had to miss a session for personal, like outside of work commitments and social events. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess this is me now. So I
As a strong woman.
started,
Yeah.
yeah, like I was still a lot bigger. So I started probably about 82, 83 kilos 3 years ago.
So what
Um,
what swayed you from instead of staying at like 80 kilograms and going, I'm just going to get strong. What made you go? I'm going to go down the weight categories until I'm at the under 64. What made you want to do that? It
I
wasn't
was
obvious.
Yeah, I literally, I was just unhappy with how I looked and felt. Um, so then I signed up with Shannon because the thing with me, I need accountability. So
Yeah.
I've tried dieting so many times. I tried to lose weight, but this started out as a way of losing weight for me. Like I went to the gym to lose weight, but my diet just wasn't there. So I wasn't seeing the results. So I signed up with Shannon initially. Just the pure goal was to lose fat and just lose weight.
Right.
Um, and then I signed up with Paul because I saw some progress in my training, but I needed that structure.
Yeah.
So I've got the dream team that is Mr. and Mrs. Smith
Yeah.
coaching me. Um, and yeah, and then they were just like, you should go for the England qualifiers last year. So I was like, I'm not too sure. Like, I don't think I'm ready. And they just pushed me and said, you're never going to feel 100% ready. Just go for it. And at that point, because my primary goal was still to lose weight, I never thought I'd be competitive in Strong Woman. And like I say, at that point, my main aim was to lose fat. So I was like, well, I'm just going to go under 64s. I'm going to go as low
Go
as
for it.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I set myself a goal, nine times out of 10, I will get there just because I work so hard at it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you can
at
tell
that,
that's obvious.
yeah, I'm a bit relentless when it comes to things like that. At the time I signed up for England's qualifiers, there was no under 73s. So it was either I
Yeah.
stay big at 82 or I drop to 64. So that was it. And then 73s was introduced. So I was like messaging Shannon, like, what should I do? Because at that
Yeah.
time I was probably sitting about 75-ish. And I was like, no, I want to push myself and get down. And we did it. And yeah, so now I dropped almost 20 kilos. And I've managed to keep it off as well. Like, I genuinely think I'll be staying with Shannon forever just because I need that accountability.
I mean, taking
um,
the strong woman sort of sport out of it, I mean, I bet you're pretty proud of yourself. I mean, 20 kilos, that's close to 50 pounds. And you're not, it's not like
yeah,
you're really tall or like, you know, you certainly didn't look 80 kilograms in like videos and stuff like that. So yeah, you've got to be proud of yourself.
yeah, 100%. Like at times now, I still think, oh, I'm still a bit big, blah blah blah, and then
Mm.
I just have to remind myself, like, look who you was before. Like, no, you're
Yeah.
not. Stop.
I try
It's
and say
just
that to
hard.
clients. Look at where you've come. And
Yeah,
I suppose that's where like your Instagrams and stuff are good because you have to scroll a bit down and you go, look at what you were lifting here. I just shared
yeah,
an old YouTube video when we went to this competition. You got one of the girls who comes to me struggling with a 35 log, and now she pings up a 50, and
yeah,
getting frustrated with that. Say, look how far you came. So it's a good way of looking at it.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So just a quick one on. So you're coached by Paul,
Yeah.
and your nutrition with Shannon.
Mhm.
So you said a little bit there what it was like, but how do you find getting on like with a coach? Obviously, because you must be quite invested in yourself to have both a coach and a nutritionist, which is great to see. And obviously that's benefited you. Is that you know what? I'm kind of asking something you've already kind of really answered it. You're going to stay with Shannon for a long time.
Yeah.
Old ladies together saying, "Can you send my nutrition plan over, please?"
Yeah.
Um, I've never met them, but they all seem like quite a cool couple. So hopefully one day, yeah. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
having a coach has obviously benefited you a lot for that structure.
100%. I genuinely I wouldn't be in under 64 with a clueless when it comes to nutrition. Like, I'm someone who's a serial yo-yo dieter, so I was trying everything and got suckered into these fads, and so without a nutritionist, I would still be an 82, I imagine.
Yeah, you just be like, I'll
Maybe
stay
a
in the 82s.
73, but I definitely wouldn't be wearing down. Yeah.
That's that's cool. That's cool. So there you go. So you give them Paul and Shannon good plug there. So they're obviously a good team. Um, so what is it that you do? I saw you on I noticed you on the muscle food. I was watching because I follow muscle food. I mean, like loads of people do, and I recognise that face on doing this ball challenge or something. So
Yeah. Yeah.
what is it that you do, and how come you're working with them?
So long story short, I started there about 7 years ago, part time, doing customer service whilst I was doing my master's degree. Um, I worked my way up, kind of heading up the advertising team. And then I actually left last year. So I left last June,
Right.
um, started elsewhere. And then there was like a big shift in leadership. And the guy who took over as CEO, I knew him quite well. And I just started my new job. And I had a phone call from the current CEO. And he was
Right.
like, I need you to come back, April. We're having a huge change and I want you in the senior leadership team. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, because I'd been there for so long, like I knew muscle food. And it was a bit mad also seeing the transition as someone who started there out of shape, going out every weekend because I was still a student,
Right.
not watching what I was eating. And now I'm in a more senior like position, but I'm so much more mindful, and I almost like am a muscle food customer, like if that makes
Yeah, yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Like I am a target audience versus before I absolutely was not. So yeah, now I just kind of pretty much run brand and campaigns for muscle food, trying to branch out where I can in terms of supporting smaller strongman and woman competitions as well, in terms of sponsoring
That's cool
prizes and
too,
things
isn't
like
it? Yeah,
that.
that crossover. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's good. They've also actually just started sponsoring me as well, ahead of
Yeah,
World. So
the
that's,
coach,
yeah,
nutritionist, and sponsors. I mean,
yeah,
going all the way.
for small little old April. Yeah, it's not going too bad at the moment. But
Yeah,
yeah,
certainly good.
when I started back there, it was quite an awkward time because I went back in July, end of July. Um, and then because of health issues, I was there for a month, and I was like, "Yep, sorry guys, I've got to take quite a long time off now." Um, so yeah, that wasn't great.
I think that's probably a good point to get into next. Yeah, I said to you at the start before I hit record, I've got some notes on maybe what to ask you and that, and it's so there we go. We've changed the order a little bit, but good bit to go on to because yeah, I think I said to you, I have a moan about my knee, and other people have a moan about this, but you had quite the health scare last year, didn't you? Did you want
Yeah.
to talk about that, or is it like I'm over it now? And
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about it. Yeah, so I was basically in August diagnosed with a brain tumor, and I I was diagnosed on the Friday. I'd only been in the doctors on the Monday, and the only reason I went to the doctors, so I'd had headaches like every day for like 4 weeks, and then I actually went to watch Britain's Strongest Woman on the Sunday with my fiance and niece, and I blacked out, which was really scary because nothing like that
yeah,
had happened to me before. So everyone was pushing me, getting the doctors. Um, and then, yeah, I had the diagnosis on the Friday, and then I was in Tuesday night, ready to have surgery first thing Wednesday to have it removed. So it was all very fast paced. Um, and, if I'd have, the thing I keep telling myself as well, like the recovery was not as bad as I was expecting. And I
yeah.
think if I hadn't have lost all the weight I had, it would have took a hell of a lot longer. And it would have also meant I would not have been competing at your lightweight comp 5, 6 weeks after surgery. So
No, well, when you message to say, "Oh, sorry, Ash, I don't think I'm going to make it because of this," I was like, I
yeah.
had to check it a phone 3 times, and I was going for you, and but you still competed, didn't you?
And that's what I mean. I initially told myself I was still competing as a way to not let my eating get out of control. So
Yeah,
because I was in hospital, so they discharged me early, um, because straight after surgery, like a couple of hours after the drugs had worn off and that, I was up and about on my feet, and they were like, "Are you okay? Like, why are you moving around so much?" I was like, "I'm fine. I feel okay." So they discharged me early, and I dropped to about 63. Now I don't know if that's because of the lack of food or what they removed, because
mm,
apparently, like they said, it was really big.
bloody hell.
Um, so yeah, but so I was like, I don't want to undo all my progress. I'm still competing. I'm going to make weight. And then everyone around me telling me I'm an idiot. They're like, "You're not doing it. Your surgeon said you're not allowed to train." And then 2 weeks after, I was back in the gym, obviously only doing very light
Yeah.
activity, returned to work for an hour a day. Um, and then, yeah, competed at your comp and came second.
I was going to say, I mean, and it weren't just that, you come second. It was some really good girls there, weren't there? It
Yeah,
was a good
yeah.
lineup.
It was a battle. Yeah, it was. I surprised myself. Surprised. couple of my friends and family when I got home, like, see, I feel fine. Told you I'd be okay.
As you're there with, I think you did like a 155 axle
Yeah,
deadlift from
50.
12 inches or something. Always come up with these nonsense events, and
Yeah.
um, and I think you'd done in your last training lift something like 100. You'd said to me or something, or 110.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah, because
bang,
I only had
150 odd.
2 weeks. Yeah, I only had 2 weeks. I can remember messaging Paul and he was like, I didn't think you'd pull that, April. I was like, well,
Yeah,
I just went with it. I felt great. So,
yeah, it was good. It was a
yeah.
really good story, and then that continued on for you, didn't it? Because you then entered the UKNS qualifier, which was at my little place again, and
Yep.
that time you won that qualifier against Kaylee. Actually, I was going to ask you about that because you two have been having a nice little battle, haven't you, over the friendly battle? I'm assuming, and it's quite
Yeah.
cool.
I
Yeah,
enjoy
you came out on
competing.
top there.
Yeah, and I do enjoy competing with Kaylee. Like every time we've come up against each other, we always end up switching positions.
Yeah,
So, like the one at yours after surgery, I come second to her. And then at UKN's qualifiers, I come first and she came second. And
yeah,
then at UKN's, I think she was fourth and I was fifth. So,
yeah.
yeah, it's constantly, we're very close to each other. It's always a good battle with her.
I was going to say it's quite good to have that. So I know there's some of the lads that are like that, and sometimes it spills over a little bit with the fellas.
So,
and, but yeah, it's always been a good watch. Like you guys. So I suppose that's next for you, isn't it? You've got the UKNS Worlds, which is in Edinburgh, 23rd and
uh-huh.
24th of September. Um, Looks like quite a weekend.
Oh, it does. Like a lot of the events we don't have kit for in our gym. So as with UKN's qualifiers prep, like we've had to go out and buy a couple of bits ourselves.
Right.
And then it's just going to be a case of traveling around to other gyms really just to be as prepped
Yeah.
as possible. Um, but I go away for 2 weeks. We go camping down Cornwall. So I've already told Paul I'll be taking my throwing bag with me and getting some
Yeah.
practice on the campsite.
Right, that's it. Do it. I took a little 20 kilogram empty sandbag, then filled it up with
Mm.
food sand. There's me shoveling it in. Probably people wondering what I'm doing. Just to just I was only just doing light squats and stuff then.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you got to do it. You got to do
yeah.
something, haven't you? So
Got to be done.
are you kind of like excited for that, or
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I'm excited for it. Look, like this year is the most traveling I've ever done for a comp. Like, so that element to it itself is exciting anyway. But then also being able to say like I've competed at a world's event is
it's cool.
pretty, pretty wild.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's exciting. Should be good.
How far do you want to go? Obviously, you sound like you're really motivated and driven. Um, but where do you see yourself maybe being, or where do you want to
Um,
go?
I mean, I'm not someone who's like, I want to be the world's strongest woman. Like, I just want to see how far I can push myself, really. Like,
Yeah,
I tend to set myself small, achievable goals, and that does work for me. So, like UKNs, for example, I just said I just want to qualify for Worlds top five, and then I managed to get the fifth spot. But I do want a podium for Worlds though.
be
Like
cool, wouldn't it?
I'm pushing myself
Yeah,
for a podium spot. And then from there, like it'd be pretty cool to compete at the OSG in America. That'd be pretty cool at Worlds.
yeah. Because I noticed they just had the Europe's online qualifier, haven't they? And I had go to come to my place sort of submit as well. And we were looking, but you weren't that far off, was you? 2 or 3 places off that top 10.
Yeah, I think I was like 13th, 14th. It was just my deadlift that let me down. Like my deadlift is always my worst event.
Yeah,
So
but look,
yeah,
that's not far off, is it? another year or so. So it wouldn't surprise me to see you there at one of these OSG events. So keep
Hopefully.
doing it. Um, so really then, oh, did you know it's on the Glens one? Okay.
Um,
I'll get better. I'll get better. I may change these. I don't know, but I thought it might be quite good to ask everyone the same 5 questions. So I don't know if you've seen them. So here we
yeah,
go.
yeah. Okay.
It can this one can be past or present, current, whoever. Who's your favourite strong man or strong woman?
Oh, I'm gonna have to say Rebecca Roberts.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she's the she's just so inspiring. Just everything she's been through recently and over the years as well, and just her experience. I can kind of relate, but obviously not same circumstances, but just in terms of the resilience and just pushing through to get what she wants.
That's some serious mental toughness there, isn't it? Really?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And but you're in that same boat, so to speak. It took a lot of mental toughness last year. I mean, there'd have been definitely people that wouldn't have bothered going to the gym for that 8 weeks,
Yeah, yeah.
10 weeks or so that you were recovering, and I never knew you'd like even blacked out and stuff. You just sort of obviously messaged for the event just to say what had happened, but didn't know you went as far as that. So yeah,
Yeah.
mental toughness there, definitely. That's a good one. That's a good one. Don't know if we'd start having a lot of the same names, but so far 3 different names, which is cool. Uh, Next one. What's your favourite gym you've ever been to? Whether that's to compete in, training.
See, I haven't really been to that many, but from a competing, I'd probably have to say is it, Seddons up near Manchester. I did a competition there last week, and it's literally just like a strongman playground.
Oh, was
Got
it?
everything.
So that's
It's a good.
Seddons.
Yeah, yeah. Seddons, yeah.
Is there anyone like who sort of runs that out? So I have to admit, I don't think I've heard of that one.
I can send you the. I'm not sure. I can't remember his name who runs it. But I can send you the page. But yeah, they like we did Hercules hold in the comp. Like it's not.
That's cool.
It's quite unusual.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's an amazing setup.
There you go. So if you're near the Manchester area, Seddons, and we'll have to get the link up or an Instagram page for the post maybe, so people can get there. Sounds like quite a cool place. Where is it you train?
So we train at Garth's gym in Nottingham. It's literally the only gym with the kit that we need. You've got other gyms like Nottingham Strong. It's more powerlifting though. In Nottingham itself, you want Garth's.
Cool. I love how they've got the farmers have all padded up. Is that what that is?
Oh, yeah, and the yoke. The yoke's exactly the same.
Is it?
The yoke, yeah, that's 125 empty. So when I first started training, I was like,
Flipping it.
okay, we're diving straight in there. It's huge, well, like, all the way out here.
Oh, is it as well? Then flipping it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not where you want to start, is it? That's what I like my yokes at about 45 MT, and it starts people off quite nice. 420.
that's what you need.
Yeah. The next one is if you had to pick someone to train with for 2 hours, anyone in the world, especially maybe even more unlikely people you're ever gonna meet, who would that be?
Anyone.
Literally anyone.
Oh. See, this is hard because usually I'd go for someone who's funny, but when I train, I just stick my headphones in and just don't talk to anyone.
Oh right.
So I guess someone who's not going to distract me. I don't know. I'm going to have to bail on that one. I don't know.
Well, just it sounds like you just need to have a clone of yourself and train with that April,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
sounds like a good team.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll train with myself.
The next one, if you had to make like a change to a strongman in any sort of way, what would it be? Even if it's like simple, like eliminate duck walk forever, or
Oh, no, I
something more
love them.
serious.
I would say we need this is when my fiance watches this, he's going to say this is classic me because he always says, "Oh, health and safety." But I'd say a serious one, is just standardized rules.
Yeah,
Like, some comps you're not allowed to use coloured chalk, and some comps you're allowed to belt clean, but others you're not. Like, just have standard set of rules, avoids any disputes, confusion. A non-serious one, I'd say sandbag to shoulder, get in the bin,
eliminate that. Why?
eliminate it.
Why do you hate that?
Oh, I mean, it's just grueling. It's just grim, isn't it? Especially as it gets heavy and then you've got high reps on it. Just no. I've got it at the minute for Worlds Prep, and every session I'm like, oh,
Oh, yes, is it a ladder?
yeah, yeah.
Um, as luckily, I mean, sandbag to shoulder's been in what the last 18 months quite a lot, hasn't it? So I've not really done it, but I've done stone to shoulder, and that's nasty
Yeah.
as well. You just literally bruised all up one side. So
I quite at England's qualified last year with stone shoulder. And I actually quite enjoyed that. I don't know why sandbag's different, but
all right, yeah.
mm, yeah.
Um, hopefully I'll be able to give it a go at some sort of decent level soon and
Yeah.
see why everyone says it's so disgusting. So
Yeah.
um, last question. I kind of done them in the wrong order, but if you weren't allowed to do any kind of strength sports anymore, what would you move into a different sport? What would it be?
Um, I'd probably go back into hockey, field hockey.
Oh, right. See, I didn't know that. Should have asked that at the start. What other sports have you done? So you
Yeah,
played
so
hockey?
yeah, it was very low level, like it was just at school and uni, but yeah, I just really enjoyed it. Yeah. So probably go
Maybe
back
that's
into
where that's probably helped you maybe with how strong you are now because you've got to be quite explosive, haven't you? You've had
yeah.
these little sharp runs, and I've noticed a few people that have done a sport like that. Like we've got a girl at the minute at our place, played netball for years, and now she's come in and she's just picking things up
Mm.
quite well, and it's probably something to do with that. You know, you've built up that kind of
Yeah.
explosive muscle tissue or something, and it's paid off when it comes to
Yeah,
doing strongman. So
definitely. Definitely transfers across.
yeah, yeah. Um, well, really, that's the five questions I was going to ask you. Like I'm going to ask everyone, and I didn't really want to have these videos go on forever.
Yeah.
So we've done about half an hour there, and I have to admit it's been really cool hearing like full on with your well, most of your story. I'm sure there's probably more you could have told us. It's been it's really inspiring. I think you're going to inspire a lot of strong women. When I told some of the girls who come to my place who's next, well, I'm definitely watching that because you know, some of them saw you at UKNS and give them a little gist of like your story and all that. So I think it's going to be a good listen. So if you've made it this far, you've listened all the way. Whoever's watching now, and yeah, so it's UKNS Worlds next then for you, and I wish you massive good luck. Um,
Thank
8 events. It's going to be
you.
a
It's
bit
gonna be
grueling.
brutal.
Um, and look, you know, you're welcome down to mine if you need to get on any of there's some similar kit. Like we've got the setup for the old. It's only squat, isn't it? But any help you
Yeah.
need, if you need somewhere, just drop us a message, and you're always welcome down. So, well, good luck, mate. And it's been
Thank
a real pleasure to speak to you.
Oh, God.
You're right.
Now my dogs are going mad in the background. Bruce!
Oh, they
Right.
probably want to go out on another one of your walks or something.
Yeah, I think so. Well,
Um,
thank you for having me, Ash. I've
no,
actually
look,
enjoyed it.
really appreciate it. Definitely want to keep speaking to people with like these really cool stories and that. So, right, I'll let you go there. I'll never know how
Lovely.
to quite end these, but well, good luck and see you soon.
Thank you. Thank
Um,
you. Sweet in a bit.